Okay, well, Mr. Beneficiary, take you and your trust back to jail.
Permission
I ask the questions, you give the answers. Is that clear?
Mr. Beneficiary, you should not talk over to the court. I thank you very much. Thank you.
That is not fair. You cannot do this. Under oath and on record, you cannot do this.
If you're not Mr. Pollard, then you're not here. The warrant will be for your arrest, and you can sit in jail till you rot for all I care.
That's fine, Your Honor, but that's
Deputy, you can remove him. He's not here.
he's not here today because he doesn't exist.
All right, guys. Today we've got a truly dangerous sovereign citizen in court, and this one is wild. He's scheduled for 4 separate hearings, and in every single one, he manages to give the judge a serious headache. This guy is no joke. He's not just difficult. He's done some truly unthinkable things. I won't spoil the details, but let's just say you won't believe the way he tries to act like the law doesn't apply to him. Fortunately, the judges in this case handle him like pros, and in my opinion, they do it perfectly. Watch closely and let me know in the comments what you think this guy deserves for the crimes he's committed. You're definitely going to want to stick around for this one. Let's dive in.
What's his name?
The beneficiary.
Yeah, first name, Mr. Beneficiary.
Are you stating that the trust that we are administrating is the Kevin Pollard Trust? If so,
I'm asking what your name is.
my name is the beneficiary of the trust.
Of whose trust?
Are you stating that the trust that we are now administrating is the Kevin Pollard Trust, Your Honor?
Okay, I'm
If so,
gonna recall him. Bring up somebody else. Put him aside. We'll call him at the end. Sir, is your name the beneficiary, Kevin Teron Anthony Pollard? Yes or no?
I'm the beneficiary of the trust, Your Honor. Are you stating that the trust that we are now administrating is the Kevin Pollard Trust?
Are you Kevin Pollard? I'm asking you.
Is the trust that we are now administrating?
Sir, I ask the questions here. You give me yes or no answers.
You're asking for my permission to
ask the questions. You give the answers. Is that clear?
It's very clear.
Okay, listen.
Yes.
Are you also known by the name of Kevin Pollard amongst other names? Yes or no?
Are you stating that the trust that we are now administrating is the Kevin Pollard Trust, Your Honor? If so, Kevin Pollard is in fact present today. It is you that is Kevin Pollard, Your Honor. It is you.
Really?
Yes, Your Honor.
Really?
It is you that is Kevin Pollard. Yes, Your Honor.
Kevin Pollard.
You are Kevin Pollard today, Your Honor. I am the beneficiary.
And then who are you?
I am the beneficiary of the trust.
Okay, well, Mr. Beneficiary, take you and your trust back to jail.
I have some questions for the clerk, Your Honor.
No.
I have. Can I speak to the clerk before we go any further?
You know what? I'm put you in timeout. Get your mind right, Mr. Pollard.
Yes, sir. Can I have the clerk present? Please, Your Honor.
Don't get mad.
Please have the clerk present in a Zoom meeting.
You know what? If you answer my questions, I'll consider it.
Okay. What's the question?
What's your name?
The beneficiary.
All right, Mr. Beneficiary, put you back in timeout.
Back in timeout. And this judge is seriously putting on a show right now. I'm honestly so tired of seeing judges just sit there while people run their mouths with zero consequences. But not this guy. He's got the patience of a parent who's already counted to 3, and he's done playing games. It's honestly a breath of fresh air. Judges do have the authority to keep order in their courtroom under contempt of court laws. That means if you act like a fool, they can fine you, kick you out, or even throw you in jail for a bit. Some judges just refuse to put their foot down, and I really don't get why. That's exactly how courtrooms end up looking more like reality TV drama than actual legal proceedings. But this judge, he's having none of it, and I'm giving him a solid 10 out of 10 so far. I know some of you might think he's being too harsh, and I get that, especially since I've seen some pushback in the comments before when I side with strict judges. But honestly, I think we need more of this. Let me know what you think, and let's dive back in.
All right, beneficiary. I'm going to give you another chance in front of another magistrate.
That's no problem. Can I have the clerk present, please?
Hey, sir, I'm Magistrate Chartea. DDC.
Excuse me? Yeah.
I'm talking to the DDC officer.
Yes.
DDC?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The gentleman that is in front of the screen, in front of camera 1, what name do you have him listed as?
Kevin Pollard.
Do you have a middle name?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so you have a Kevin Pollard. Okay, and sir, you're identified as Kevin Pollard, but you're considering yourself the beneficiary. Is that correct, sir?
Are we on the record?
We are. Everything is on the record.
Okay. Are you stating that the trust that we are now administrating is the Kevin Pollard trust, ma'am?
I'm not administrating any trust because there is no trust in front of me. But what I'm asking you is, you call yourself the beneficiary. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, no problem. I have case number is 240-5538101. People of the state of Michigan versus Kevin Theron Anthony Pollard, who is listed by DDC as Kevin Pollard. However, the gentleman has identified himself as the beneficiary.
You representing as Kevin Pollard today, Your Honor.
Mr. Pollard,
I'm not.
Mr. Pollard, now, as your counsel, I am going to advise that you stop speaking and allow the judge to speak.
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel Kirkland.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Shava Kirkland on behalf of Mr. Pollard, who has been advised of his rights, wishes to stand mute and waive the formal reading.
Thank you. I'm going to enter plea of not guilty. Court dates are February 2nd, 2024. It is a probable cause conference, followed by preliminary examination, February 8th, 1:30 p.m. Both matters are in front of Judge King. Probable cause conference, it is at 8:30 in the morning. Mr. Beneficiary, you should not talk over to the court. I thank you very much.
You are under oath and you are on record. And I'm asking you,
beneficiary, I have not sworn you under oath. I am under oath, so I am doing all this. I'm going to enter plea of not guilty. I already given the court dates while this case is pending, sir. Okay, there should be no contact with the individual.
You are not allowed to state what the judgment is. That is my job.
Mr. Pollard, I do want to let you know that the person.
Okay.
I have a question for the clerk.
Okay.
I have a question for the clerk.
For a moment.
I have a question for the clerk.
You will give an opportunity, sir. You will give an opportunity. Let me finish. The people, go ahead, Esteban.
Yeah, the people are asking for $250,000 cash bond, no cash, no surety. If he's able to ever post bond, we'd like GPS tethered with home arrest. The defendant, Your Honor, has a continuing situation where he entices young girls on the internet from Arizona in this particular case.
This dude should absolutely be charged with contempt by now. No question about it. He's blatantly disrespecting the court and turning the entire process into a joke, like there are no real consequences for his behavior. And what makes it worse is that he's encouraging this kind of nonsense, potentially influencing younger people who might not yet grasp the seriousness of these actions. That's where it crosses a whole different line. It's one thing to spiral on your own, but when you start dragging others down with you, especially impressionable minds, that's just next-level irresponsible. And what's baffling is how casually he's acting, considering how serious this case actually is. Usually, we see sovereign citizens pulling these stunts over minor traffic violations or petty charges. But this guy is facing real prison time, and he still refuses to take it seriously. This isn't just about being a nuisance in court. This guy is a legitimate threat, not just to himself, but to the people around him. It's actually scary to think he might be back out on the street someday. Honestly, the system needs to send a strong message here, And that starts with holding him fully accountable.
3 different times for criminal sexual conduct. The first case, he was found not guilty back on 5/15/2015. The 10/21/2023 case, where he was criminal sexual conduct first degree and also contributing alcohol to a minor, 2 counts of that, was at the exam dismissed without prejudice. In our particular case, she came here after having a relationship, not the victim, but one of the witnesses came here after having a 3-year relationship with this defendant on the internet. When she turned 18, she came to visit. And also, Mr. Pollard introduced her to another girl who is also from Arizona. The other girl brought her niece or her, I forgot the relationship, but her 7-year-old niece with her to visit Mr. Pollard. And what happened then, because the person was tired from traveling, she fell asleep in the living room. When she woke up, she went into the bedroom, and there was Mr. Pollard with the 7-year-old girl. He then said, "What are you doing?" And he says, "Well, we're playing video games." So the woman, the adult in the room, she falls asleep again. And then she is awakened by the 7-year-old girl and asked to leave. The 7-year-old girl then tells her mother that Mr. Pollard touched her, rubbed her, he says, okay? He said, accidentally is what he's trying to tell us what happened. The situation is she's told the 7-year-old child has told TED Talk that he did this. He's told Protective Services that he did this. And as far as I'm concerned, Judge, he fits the category of a predator because he did the same thing in the 10/23/2023 case of enticing young people from other parts of the country, perhaps, I don't know where exactly, to come and see him on the internet. So we're asking for $250,000 cash bond, no surety, and GPS tabular if he's ever be able to post bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
The bond might seem high at first glance, but honestly, for someone like this, who's being charged with unthinkable crimes and acting like the whole legal process is a joke, it actually feels too low. I know that might sound harsh to some people, but let's be real here. This guy isn't just facing serious charges. He's also showing zero respect for the court, talking over the judge, mocking the process, and acting like the rules don't apply to him. That kind of behavior, especially from someone accused of being a predator, is beyond alarming. It really shows you exactly what kind of person we're dealing with. A bond closer to $1 million honestly feels a lot more appropriate, because when someone this dangerous and defiant is allowed even the slightest opening, the consequences could be devastating. Let me know what you guys think. Should the bond be higher? Personally, I think it needs to be at least quadrupled. But let's jump back in and see where the judge lands on this.
Bond, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd ask this court, understanding the seriousness of these charges, for a 10% bond if this court is not inclined to do a high personal bond. So one, I know the bulk of Brother Counsel's argument was this dismissed case from last year. I'd ask that this court sentence him based on these allegations and the facts and details surrounding this case. This is a 2020 case. And the woman that he met was 20 years old, or that came to see him was a 20-year-old woman, was not an underage woman. And the allegation is that she brought her, I believe, goddaughter to the home. Now, there are different variations because a couple different stories are told as to what occurred there. But Mr. Pollard has maintained that he did not sexually assault the little girl. I'm not sure why this case wasn't charged until 2024, but it is a 4-year-old case. My understanding is that he I don't believe he's had any convictions since then. He is a lifelong resident, has a child, so he has strong ties to the community. He also owns a lawn service here. At this point, there's no amount of bond that he can't afford to pay, so even a 10% bond would be unaffordable for him. But given the age of this case and his lack of issues since this, I'd ask this court consider a high personal bond, if not that, a 10% bond.
Thank you. I've heard the representations from both sides in this particular matter in reference to the beneficiary who is listed by the court or by DDC as Kevin Pollard, is that in this particular matter, even though this is from 2020, Okay. There was a forensic interview, Kids Talk, with the victim, and she disclosed that she was touched by the defendant and that he rubbed her with his hand. This court is not considering the other cases that were dismissed. They were dismissed without prejudice. Okay. This court is only going with this matter. In reference to this gentleman, the defendant, bond is going to be $250,000 cash. There's going to be a GPS tether, home arrest. Further, okay, it's going to be unaffordable. So today is Friday. He's going to get another court date. Today is the 26th, January 29th, 2024, 9 o'clock in front of Judge McConicle, who's going to be looking at the bond amount and bond conditions. Also, there is one other thing. This court looks at clear and convincing evidence standard, okay, based on the representation, based on the reading. This court is convinced that Mr. Pollard, okay, I'm sorry, the beneficiary, okay, that he is a creditor in this particular matter. That's why we're putting at $250,000 cash, GPS tether, house arrest. He does have the, again, the unaffordable bond redetermination for this Monday, January 29th, 2024, 9 o'clock in front of Judge McConicle. Also, there's another bond condition. He's not to be around any minor children. That concludes the arraignment of the beneficiary, also known as Kevin Pollard. Madam Clerk.
Pretrial,
Do you wish to talk to the gentleman that's in front of the screen?
Judge.
Okay. Just so for the record, is that the clerk has declined to talk to the gentleman in front of the screen.
No, that is not fair.
Thank you.
That is not fair. You cannot do this. Under oath and on record, you cannot do this. I have rights, and you violated them, and you was not my judge.
This dude really thinks a judge is just going to be like, you're right, this isn't fair. Even though he's facing serious charges involving underage victims? Yeah, not a chance. The court clearly has jurisdiction. And if he hasn't figured that out yet, maybe the fact that he's literally sitting in a jail cell should be a clue. No matter how much he complains or tries to argue, he's not going anywhere. What's wild is that he really believes he can talk his way out of this, like logic and legal authorities somehow don't apply to him. It's honestly ridiculous and kind of laughable at this point. But all right, let's get into the real drama now, his bond redetermination hearing. He's trying to get his $250,000 bond reduced. But just a heads up, the judge is not in the mood for games. Things get pretty heated. So let's dive in and see how it all plays out.
Bond for your client. So $250,000.
Cash, that's correct.
Argument.
Judge, my client's 38 years of age. He's on Social Security disability, Judge. I don't see any criminal history for Mr. Pollard, Your Honor. He lives in the city, does have a child. Your Honor, this alleged incident occurred back in 2020. So it's some 4 years ago. Obviously, it's a serious case, obviously. But it's 4 years old, Judge. He has no priors. I'm asking respectfully for a reduction in bond. The bond is $250,000 cash. Judge, I know the court will impose a GPS tether. I already know that, Judge. My client, in fact, Judge, he has a tether already on. He has a tether already on. Let me be clear about that. There's a misdemeanor, and I apologize, Judge, if I said something wrong initially. There's a misdemeanor that he has the tether for, so it's a misdemeanor.
Okay.
Your Honor. And he does a lawn care service, so he does have some work that he does. But the court doesn't have to worry about tether. I'm just asking for a reduction in bond to either a high some type of 10% bond. I think $250,000, Judge, is excessive. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Prosecutor.
Judge, the defendant on the screen today in the top left, he's being charged with assaulting a the assault allegedly happened at his house in his bed. Your Honor, this is an individual who allegedly is self-proclaimed the defendant in this case, gave the magistrate such a hard time that multiple magistrates actually ended up having to handle the matter because he wouldn't give up his name or his identity. Now, being charged with this and now knowing what his past is like, I may refrain from giving a magistrate or a judge my name as well. Because, Judge, the situation that Mr. Reagan is talking about that the defendant's involved in right now, it has to do with selling and furnishing alcohol to minors, to a 12-year-old and 14-year-old. It actually originally began as a criminal sexual conduct first degree.
This dude really thinks a judge is just going to be like, you're right, this isn't fair. Even though he's facing serious charges involving underage victims? Yeah, not a chance. The court clearly has jurisdiction. And if he hasn't figured that out yet, maybe the fact that he's literally sitting in a jail cell should be a clue. No matter how much he complains or tries to argue, he's not going anywhere. What's wild is that he really believes he can talk his way out of this. Like logic and legal authorities somehow don't apply to him. It's honestly ridiculous and kind of laughable at this point. But all right, let's get into the real drama now. His bond redetermination hearing. He's trying to get his $250,000 bond reduced. But just a heads up, the judge is not in the mood for games. Things get pretty heated. So let's dive in and see how it all plays out.
Apparently, the idea that somebody didn't appear at a hearing, it was reduced to the selling and furnishing of the alcohol. So he has an ongoing matter right now, Judge. He's on bond. We have this particular matter, allegedly, where this individual ended up touching a 7-year-old's. We have corroboration to that, Judge. And Your Honor, with all due respect, the way that the people see this defendant based on previously being charged, now being charged with another CSE first degree, we find him to be a predator. Not only that, Judge, we find him to be mentally unstable. He's currently on a case regarding minors. And just plain and simple, Judge, we find him to be a danger to the community. Therefore, Judge, we do feel as though a high cash bond is appropriate. We do feel as though the magistrate got it right here in terms of the $250,000 cash, not just to this particular complainant, but kids, all kids. This is one of those individuals where we feel as though he poses a danger to everybody.
See, where we I haven't heard their arguments of counsel. Where this gets a little dicey for concerning bond is that we have a situation where the defendant allegedly, I guess, an 18-year-old comes in town to visit with him for her birthday. She turned 18, so she comes to see the 37-year-old. Who she's been in a long-term relationship with for the last 3 years. So I guess he would have been 34, starting the relationship with the 50-year-old. Allegedly, she talks to a friend, and they come over, and the 7-year-old is over. The girl comes and finds the two of them in the bed, and then the mother contacts a person asking who is this Kevin guy, because her daughter says he touched her. So, and then we have another case of furnishing alcohol to 12-year-olds, and whether there's sex there or not sex there. We have a pattern that's a little bit concerning. It's a lot of minors, a lot of alcohol, a lot of sex allegations, a lot of molestation allegations, a lot of flying people in who are kids and teenagers, and so We're real concerned about this. So the $250,000 bond is an unaffordable bond, and so the court does find that this defendant is a danger to all kids. He's just a danger. The court is going to disagree with the magistrate on this, and I know the magistrate or magistrates had some issues with this defendant. And they used the information that they had at this time to come up with the $250,000 bond. But the court does find that Mr. Pollard poses a great danger to the community, and a $250,000 bond is unaffordable, but it's not enough. It's not enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some to it to make sure he's incapacitated. But if he posts the bond, then that means we know that he'll appear for court. So the bond is going to be in.
Oh my gosh, I did not see that coming. When I first heard the judge set bond at $1 million, I had to double check like, wait, is this actually happening? Asterisk at a massive number. But honestly, for the kind of charges this guy is facing, it feels totally justified. Let me know if you agree, but in my opinion, a $1 million bond isn't just about the money. It's a statement. It's the court saying, asterisk, we're not taking any chances with this one. Asterisk, even if somehow he could manage to post it. There's no way he's just going to walk away and risk losing the $100,000 minimum. It would cost him to bond out. That kind of number is meant to keep people exactly where they are, asterisk behind bar star. And let's be real, based on how the judge, the prosecutor, and even his own lawyer, who honestly looks like he'd rather be anywhere else, are reacting, it's clear no one's buying into this guy's nonsense. The court is united on this one. So yeah, I really hope he doesn't manage to post that bond. But let me know in the comments. Do you think the $1 million bond is fair? Too high? Too low? Personally, I think they nailed it.
Mr. Pollard is not to have any interactions with anyone under the age of 18, whether they're family, whether he knows them. He's not to be around anyone under the age of 18. If he is, that will violate this bond. Thank you.
So, Judge, the bond was $250,000 cash.
Yeah, and now it's $1 million cash. Now it's $1 million cash. Okay. It's $1 million now. It's $1 million now. Okay,
because he's on Social Security disability now. Can't afford.
I understand, but the court finds that Mr. Pollard, it may be some serial action is going on right here, and I don't really know if he's like a serial rapist. I don't know if there are other children that he just lays in the bed with allegedly and touches, or there's other year-olds, or if he's flying other 18-year-olds out to celebrate their birthday. I'm not sure. So what we have to do is we're going to err on the side of caution and make sure that Mr. Pollard is not able, at least right now, to be able to engage or even be charged with engaging in these type of activities.
Yeah, no, Judge, I get it. I know it's rough when the allegations are from January of 2020, but the prosecutor doesn't charge until January 24th. I mean,
it's when it looks like it wasn't until October 14th of 2023 when the mother called asking, who is this Kevin guy? So that we just kind of got that information, and I'm not sure when the 12-year-old, I'm not sure when all the 12-year-old and the alcohol, when that happened. So it's a lot, Mr. Reagan, and so the timeline may get a little bit jumbled, but it's a lot of kids, teenagers, alcohol, sex, molestation. It's kind of blending, and so we're here where we are.
All right, guys, before we jump into the final two hearings with the sovereign citizen, just know things are about to get seriously intense. The next judge is on a whole different level. He's strict, no nonsense, and absolutely does not tolerate any of these sovereign citizen antics. You're going to see him shut this guy down fast. And honestly, it's super satisfying to watch. But before we dive into all that, I want to hear from you. What do you think about that $1 million bond? Personally, I think it's more than fair given the charges and his attitude, but I'd love to read your thoughts in the comments. All right, let's dive back in and see how this next judge handles this sovereign idiot. You don't want to miss this.
Appearing on behalf of Mr. Pollard, my P number is 58961.
All right, what's your pleasure, counsel? Oh, Mr. Pollard, unmute yourself and tell us your name, sir. Mr. Pollard, have them unmute you so you can tell us your name. Tell me your name, sir.
I exercise my right to remain silent.
You don't want to tell us your name?
I'm the beneficiary.
Beneficiary of what?
Of the trust that we are now here to administrate.
Okay, that's fine. Can you tell me your name?
Excuse me?
Can you tell me your name?
The beneficiary of the trust, Your Honor. I'm not
Beneficiary of trust.
I'm not here. I'm not summoned here as the name. I'm summoned as the state trust. It'll be a contradiction.
I'm looking for Kevin Pollard. If he's not here, I will capious him.
Your Honor, you are appearing as Kevin Pollard today.
No, I'm not. My name is Kenneth King.
No, Your Honor, you are the trustee of the administrate, the trust that we are now here to administrate. It is a
I have no idea what you're talking about, sir. I'm just looking for Kevin Pollard. If you're not him, then I'll issue an arrest warrant for Kevin Pollard because he's supposed to be here.
Under trust law, it's a contradiction for one to be the beneficiary and the trustee, Your Honor.
All right, you're talking a different language to me. I have no idea what you're talking about. Miss James, how would you like to proceed?
Judge, originally I was going to ask it to be set for a preliminary examination, but it sounds like it may be a competency issue. So, Judge, what I'm going to ask the court to do, I have an appointment to meet with Mr. Pollard this afternoon. I'm going to ask the court if you would, we can set an exam date, but we can also set Monday as a review date.
Hey, why don't we just do that before we set an exam date?
Okay.
The court will adjourn the probable cause conference. If you're able to find Mr. Pollard, we'll adjourn the probable cause conference to February 5th at 8:30.
Yes, Your Honor.
Find Mr. Pollard, and I will issue a capious for his arrest.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Sir, in Wayne County Jail, what's your name?
There you go.
Say your name.
Say your name, sir.
For me?
Yeah.
The beneficiary of the state. I'm here today for the state.
What's your name, sir? I don't know who the beneficiary is.
Excuse me?
What is your name?
I'm coming to appear as the beneficiary of the state, Your Honor.
Okay, forget all that. What did your mom call you when she named you? I have no idea who you are, sir. Okay, well, you're gonna sit there until I figure out who you are.
I'm not under that jurisdiction to consent to the name, Your Honor. That's appearing under your jurisdiction.
Your capious then, because I'm looking for Mr. Pollard. If you're not Mr. Pollard, then you're not here, and a warrant will be for your arrest, and you can sit in jail till you rot for all I care.
That's fine, Your Honor, but that's
Deputy, you can remove him. He's not here.
He's not here today because he doesn't exist.
Okay, bye.
I seriously love when judges handle sovereign citizens like this. No nonsense, no emotion, just straight up law. It's honestly so refreshing to see someone stand their ground and not let these people twist the process to fit their delusions. And in this case, the way the judge shut him down was absolutely perfect. As for this sovereign citizen, I got to be honest, it really seems like there's something deeper going on with him. He doesn't just come off like someone trying to game the system. There's a real unhinged energy there. Mentally, he seems way off. And based on his behavior and what we've seen from his past, I wouldn't be surprised if he's got a long history that's way darker than what's even being discussed in court today. Something about him just screams repeat offender, possibly even a serial one. It's honestly disturbing. But wow, what a hearing. Watching him get hit with that $1 million bond and shut down at every turn was super satisfying. I've never seen a court moment quite like that, and I'm glad you guys were here for it too. If you like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. There's way more content like this coming your way. I post every single day, and trust me, we got more wild court moments to break down. Thanks so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.